Alright, Arnes, you ready to go watch Son of Godzilla?
No.
But it's so hard to find. Like, I have to watch it on VHS for you in order to watch it.
Steve, my tummy can tell things, okay? And when it hurts, tells me something bad is going to happen. And I can tell this movie's going to be bad, so no.
But Arnes, we gotta get going.
Not moving from the spot, no.
Yeah?
No.
Hey Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name is Arnes.
And today we're going over the film Son of Godzilla. If you guys haven't seen this movie, you're in for a treat.
Please don't.
But pretty much the plot of the movie is essentially...
There's a plot?
Yeah, there's some symbols of a plot. But essentially is a bunch of scientists are on an island to try to pretty much change the weather on it, or they set up like a weather station and whatnot, and they're trying to drop the temperature, increase the temperature in order to use this technology to terraform certain areas on Earth to make them actually usable for people. Sounds like a cool idea, if it was done right. But, come to find out, there's smaller little Gimanus, or what we're going to call Gimanus, because that's what they call them in the dubbed, even though they're called Kamacuras. There's smaller ones on the island, nobody thinks nothing of it, and then bad things happen when they go to actually do the weather stuff, and the monsters get huge.
How is that small? It was bigger than they were the first time they see it.
Yeah, it was like human size, but that's pretty small for a Godzilla movie.
This entire movie is just unacceptable. Like, hey, look, there's a praying mantis walking through the woods. It's bigger than I am. Hi.
How's it going? I need to get a camera shot. Yeah, because there's also a random reporter that also shows up in the island for really no reason.
No, his tummy told him to go there.
That's true. His tummy told him to go there. When his tummy hurts, he knows he's got to scoop. There's also a random native girl on the island, which she isn't really a native girl. She's like the daughter of a scientist that knew about one of the other monsters on the island. But then she became a native girl.
He died, and she was just like, hey.
Also falls in love with the main character because, hey, it's a movie.
There's got to be a running beach scene, so.
Yeah, there is. Hey! Alright, so we're just going to get right into this. For the plot, this is going to be the first movie I'm going to say actually the plot sucks. Because it sounds cool with the whole weather changing. And then also we get introduced to Son of Godzilla, Minya. Which is kind of funny because when they first introduced him, they're like, what is it? What could it be? And some guy's like, it's a little Godzilla! And I was just like, okay, we're just going to run with it from there.
I got nothing nice to say, so I won't say nothing at all.
Your mommy told you can't say bad things about things?
No. No.
But yeah, so there's Baby Godzilla does get introduced in this movie.
Should have just ate him in the beginning and ended the movie right there. It went so much easier. But no, we got to take a whole day cracking at the egg.
Yeah, this movie does have... First problem is it has a lot of plot holes. For instance, when you first get introduced to the Baby Godzilla, what happens is the Gimantus break him out of the mountain and then start smashing the egg. And everybody's like, oh no, what could happen? Then they go back to the camp, do stuff, sleep, wake up, probably have some breakfast. They're like, hey, let's go check out the egg again. But Gimantus finally break the egg open to reveal a little Baby Godzilla.
It's not a Baby Godzilla. I don't know what that is.
Well, his name's Minya, or Manila.
Vanilla?
Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice. No ninjas, no ninjas, no.
God, that's probably the best costume I've ever seen. I gotta tell you that.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But there's like other plot holes, like for instance when like the speaker shows up and it's spraying the silk and they're like, oh man, we can't get out of the cave to the front door because there's all this webbing and a giant monster. And even though the giant monster leaves, oh, now the webbing's gone, we can move on. And then for like random reasons too, like the stuff is conveniently there, like, oh man, we're trapped in this cave and there's only one way of getting out through the entrance.
No, there isn't. I know the back entrance.
This entrance I never told you guys about.
We've been stuck in here for like...
Yeah, we've been stuck here for a while because of this giant monster. Now I think it's a good idea to tell us. Thanks.
It leads underwater so you like safely get out and everything.
Yeah. Why is there giant insects on this island? Nobody knows.
We know why they get bigger.
Yeah, because radiation, which is also another thing. Like they mentioned, when stuff goes bad, it causes a radioactive storm. The rain is like boiling hot, coming down, causes floods all over the island, kills vegetation and whatnot.
Destroys everything.
Yeah, pretty much destroys everything. Like bunches up everything in the movie. How the hell does this native girl survive this entire thing?
She had a special cave.
It kept her cool the entire time, even though the island flooded.
She was in Batcave. It explains.
Bat cave.
It explains a little bit now you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just when you're in there, you're safe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No matter if there's floods out there, all the water's just rising, you know.
Yeah, you got a cave that you can't block off the entrance.
Hey.
It's also a giant entrance right at the surface.
Yeah. And the cave goes in the ground.
Yeah, there's if you watch it, there's even more. My favorite is I don't know why, but everybody on this island seems to have ADHD.
Giant monster. Ooh, a penny. How's it going?
It was just like one part, like when they kind of speak, they're like hiding in the cracks, like, oh no, he's gonna eat us. But they narrowly escape. First person they come across is the doctor working on a telephone, and they're just like, oh hey, what'd you work on? He's like, oh, I get bored on the island, so I guess we're just gonna fix stuff on here. He's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And then they all just start working on shit. Then also they're like, oh hey, there's a giant spider coming at us again. Run! Like, oh crap, it's Spiga. Also, these people on this island are gigantic douches. Like almost everybody.
Explain.
Okay, for starters, there's one guy that was like, when they find out there's a native girl, they're like, oh, maybe we should go try to get the native girl. He's like, I don't care if there is a native girl. I want off this island. We're gonna freeze this island, then boil this island. She'll figure out a way to survive. Like, they're cool at killing people. That was gonna be okay. And then there's like the main scientist guy where he actually hides the fact that they have a working radio after everything gets destroyed, just so that they would stay on the island to work on things. Also, how does time work on this island?
Okay, so like example of the time how it works, they're counting down. Every like 5 seconds pretty much goes up like 100 meters in the air, the balloon does. And then he's like 550, 600, and then goes into the scene. Godzilla's fighting the monster for 5 minutes. 625.
Yeah, but then there'd be times where it's just like, even like the countdown, they're like 10, 8, 7. Like you just skip numbers. Can't do that, man. Yeah, then there's like, just be like, when they were working on stuff, it was supposed to be like an entire day, but just literally, like, I understand, like, get the fast edit so you can get through the attention, but then it's like, it jumps later where stuff is taking stupid long to do. What is this, a Dragon Ball Z movie? Where it's like, the planet's gonna blow up in 5 minutes. 3 episodes later.
It's gonna get ready. 2 seasons later, it's done.
Yeah, especially towards the end where they're like hiding out in the cave. It's just like, how long is that balloon gonna be flying for? I was okay with it because we got monster fights, but still, kind of, this movie drags. This movie drags a lot.
This review's dragging. Let's get to the costumes already.
Alright, we're gonna move on to the costumes, which, my favorite would probably be the Kamakuroses, or the Giant Mantis, what they call them in the movie. I think the giant praying mantises look really cool. I think they're done really well, because they're pretty much just, maquettes. But they overall, like, they animate, they move pretty good, looks pretty much like a praying mantis. Spiga would probably be what I would say the next best looking suit. The giant spider, or also what you might know as Kamunga, which is the Japanese. Where it's pretty much, he just...
So Mothra's back in?
Yeah, pretty much. It's essentially the same fighting style, except he also has like a little needle that shoots out of his mouth. Which, alright, so people that watch this movie, how does Godzilla get hit in the eye with the needle? Because they don't show him actually getting closer to Kamunga's mouth. So how, like...
We need to know this.
How does it reach? Because it barely shoots out of his mouth for pretty much the majority of the scenes. Like, he has to get close. Like, was it like each of those little fast edits? Was that Godzilla's head getting closer and closer to its mouth? Because that seems like a stupid idea. But overall, I think he looks cool. Like, he's a neat looking monster, especially for being a giant spider. Like, looks like a giant spider. Moves pretty neat. I also like how, like, in like certain scenes too, they kind of add like little horror movie elements. Like, you see like Minion just like walking through the woods, and it's just like something appears over the trees. It's just like watching, kind of like a Friday the 13th movie.
Dang it!
I was just waiting for that. What the hell? But overall, his aesthetics work pretty good as well, which I think that's pretty much where the budget for this movie went. Because
no, that is definitely where
our main
all
heroes
the
of the
went.
yes, because our main heroes don't look very good in this movie. I'm gonna say the next best looking one is probably Godzilla, even though I'm gonna say it's probably my least favorite looking Godzilla suit in the entire series.
Please explain this.
Which I know people don't seem to like. I mean, my 1X Plus. The 1955 Godzilla from Godzilla Raids Again. A lot of people don't like the suit. I personally think this suit has some nice qualities to it, even though it looks kind of weird, but I do like the leaner looking Godzilla. I think he's neat. Now, with Godzilla for Son of Godzilla, 1. Stupid bulky for no apparent reason.
They just had to use a chubbier guy.
Yeah, it's just like, did they just use a fat suit actor or something? I know they didn't. So I don't get it. And then his face, like, oh my god, his face.
Only a mother could love.
Pretty much. Because he has, like, stupid huge eyes and this, like, weird, like, cone head thing going on at the top of his head.
God, I would love to see that figure, like, straight out of the movie, not changing.
Yeah, like, I almost want to get his X Plus just so I can have, just to have how horrible this thing is in my collection. Like, I need it. And then it's just, like, most of the aesthetics, like, why can't we, like, at the beginning of the movie, they show the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. It looked fine. Why can't we just run with that Godzilla for this movie? And the only redeeming quality for the entire suit, because, God, I just hate how the head sculpt is that for Minya, which I would say is the worst looking suit in the entire film, at least, like, they look similar in overall aesthetics. Like, they both got the really big eyes, the weird thing going on with their mouths. But Minya, oh.
Don't you make fun of my favorite suit. That thing looks amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Explain. Why is Minya amazing? I'm waiting. Our audience is waiting for you.
Alright.
Chop, chop.
I will explain to you why he's amazing.
Alright, I'm waiting.
Okay, so he starts off, cracks out of the egg, and he's making some weird noises. I don't understand what's going on.
We get the donkey salad.
And then this creature, I'm not even going to call it Godzilla, I'm going to call it creature. This creature grows in like 3 times the size in less than half a day, which I don't understand.
There's like a time span. Like
no, there isn't.
Like the girl had to fall in love with the reporter dude. That has to take some amount of time for this to happen.
Not years.
They don't really explain why there's a time difference. There's a time difference though. Like,
you got to figure this out. They were not stuck on that island for years. For the Godzilla, or the baby Godzilla, son of Godzilla, however you want to say it. Minya.
Thank you.
To grow that big, it would take years, okay?
But it's a radioactive monster. You don't know. And how did the giant mantis grow like in a day from a radioactive storm?
Exactly.
Monsters hibernate for reasons.
But as it evolves or grows up, it changes sounds. We go from a jackass to what's his face?
Oh yeah, he keeps calling out the things from Gremlins, the Mogwais.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, this guy was horrible until he started changing his voices. Like he literally goes from a there you go. Steve's got it. Go ahead, Steve. Do the voices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Well, hello there.
We're not that far in
Godzilla
yet.
says I'm a bitch.
We're not that far in yet.
I also like point out too is Godzilla's an awesome parent in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, all right, so for Minya being how hideous of a suit it looks, there's no really redeeming qualities for me other than just they look similar. But I can kind of understand because in the film he gets hit in the face with rocks like multiple times. Godzilla literally biffs him with his tail, like just swings around, smacks him upside his head with it. Doesn't even give a damn, you know. Just fighting Kamakasis, body slamming him.
Oh, that was probably the best part.
Yeah, I was like, the fights are actually pretty entertaining for the most part, mainly with the Kamakasis. The speeding of fight's pretty much a beam fest, but for the most part, the Kamakasis fight's pretty cool. It's pretty much just like suplexing everything.
He was like,
yeah, the body parts go fly. It's on fire. Yeah. It's like that one lands in front of the little Minya. He's just like freaking out. It's actually an entertaining fight. So I can totally understand why his face looks so fudged up as it is. And then there's like, when he's like just laying on the ground, like there's a part where he throws like a little temper tantrum when he wants to go play with the little humans. And Godzilla's like, no, I can't go play with the little humans. So he drops on the ground, starts throwing around, doing his donkey crawls. And then Godzilla's just like, whatever, grabs my tail, starts dragging him away. Randomly beats him.
Poor guy.
Gets his tail stomped on. But yeah, at least he does his atomic breath when he does it. Which overall, the time breath looks cool in this movie, too. It's pretty good. Things catch on fire, actually. Like, that's cool.
We're done with the suits?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're done with these suits, trust me.
They're definitely not the best in this entire series.
Steve's done with them.
Merely, they do introduce monsters look pretty cool, but the older, like, the more established monsters. And then finally, we'll go on to the props, which, for the most part, work. There isn't really a whole lot of props. Like, there isn't, like, the military fighting Godzilla or really any involvement. You pretty much just have the scientists on the island, the structures that they have set up to change the weather. And there's, like, the blimp stuff, and just, like, some of the other random practical effects other than the actual monsters. And one thing I think is kind of weird, there's a part where, like, the news reporter lands on the island. I don't know how he lives through that. Because he came in hot. Because he's just like the parachute's active, he's just like,
He fell in the water.
Yeah, at least he fell in the water, like shallow water. But
he's like, oh man, you guys can't.
I'm pretty sure his legs wouldn't be working.
His entire body wouldn't be working after that. Because he just came in and was like,
yeah, just straight in.
There was
like,
no slowing down. It was just that was it.
Yeah, no, there's like the effects like where like the island's flooding. That was pretty cool. Where you actually see like the water bubbling on the island. Like that was pretty neat.
Oh, you know what my favorite part was? Is when they were like, okay, let's do this. We're gonna test this out, and it like goes into like these little montages or scenes, and everybody's just pressing random buttons.
Yeah, there's like a tape recorder playing in the order.
Yeah.
Guys like pulling out a rod. This is like, oh, science stuff's happening. Sweet.
It was like the Rocky montage, and there was like a music playing in the background.
Oh, God! Speaking of the music in this movie, like, were we watching a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
Yes.
Like, I literally felt like I was watching like an old ass cartoon. Watching this entire thing, like it's the first time in Godzilla movies where I literally was just like, watching the entire movie because I didn't really care for any of the music at all. Especially like that little whistle thing like the girl makes with her hands and stuff to attract Minya.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, how are you doing that? Like, I can make fart sounds with my hand, but that's really about it. That's all I got going on.
Skills, man. Skills.
All these skills to pay the bills.
That was one thing that was good about that movie was her.
Yeah, oh, yeah, she's actually really pretty. Probably should find out what her actual name is. Like, actual actress name.
No, don't you give her damn credit.
I'm sorry for the movie you were in, but you looked good. I want to give this movie credit because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. This is definitely like, alright, for Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, if you're a Godzilla fan, you'll probably still enjoy the movie, but for most people like, say, Arnes here, probably isn't going to care for the Sea Monster movie all that much.
No.
This is one of the only Godzilla movies I will legitly say you're probably better off just not watching it.
And because Steve said that, I want to support it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just, I don't really care for the plot. It really has too many loopholes. Most of the characters aren't really that enjoyable or interesting for the most part. Mainly the reporter and the native girl are really it, and even that's not really a whole lot.
Yeah,
suits look pretty bad, other than the insectile monsters. They're pretty horrible. The fight scenes are okay, but they take way too long to get to. Like, if you want to complain about Godzilla 2014, this isn't a whole lot better.
No, it's not. It's like first appearance is when he drops down. It's like a human size, and it doesn't do anything. And
yeah, then you get like later on, it's kind of big and move around, but that's really like I'm mainly here for kaiju fights, and we don't get that until like most of the way into the film.
But hey, when it does happen, though, Godzilla's like
it is cool. The first one's cool. Where he fights Spiga is interesting, but not nearly as dynamic as it was for that for the Kamakuras fights. Especially with the flying limbs and everything catching on fire, like that was freaking sweet. But that's really the only redeeming quality for this entire movie, I feel. Especially since it introduced us to Minya, which is probably one of my least favorite monsters in the series. As you can tell, I don't really have too many Minya action figures.
Thing?
Yeah, there's a couple. Like, I got some little ones. Like, my mom likes to buy me Minya stuff because she knows I have an actual disdain for the guy, so that's usually what I get for Christmas.
Man,
I love my mom.
You know, there is one redeeming thing about that movie, right?
What?
Do you know what it is?
That it ended?
Yes.
Sweet. It has
the
an end.
ending part. It just finished.
Yeah, where the, spoilers, the island tried to stop the monsters even though they were going to be leaving the island anyway, so why they really need to freeze the island? Who really knows? Also, another plot hole is that I love that for the fact that they're like, oh, hey, we radio people we finally got a hold of radios so we can actually get people to evacuate us out of the island. They're like, oh yeah, we sent people a while ago. Where were they? Why wasn't nobody looking for them? You think they would have tried to signal anybody on the island? Even though they probably see giant monsters off at the distance fighting. Might make an attempt to do a rescue, you know? Like, especially if they've already been there and then they weren't actually already there. Because when they went out into the ocean, they're still waiting for the submarine to show up.
But then it showed up late. But it should have been there a long time ago.
Yeah, it should have been like stuff that doesn't make sense.
What was it doing?
And then, so then they almost get themselves killed trying to freeze the island, which really effectively does nothing because they already got off of the island. And all it does is, pretty sure the Godzilla and Minya are dead at the end of this movie.
They were
like they mentioned, they were
hugging it out, man.
I don't understand why they just didn't sit on the burning corpse of Spiga and just use that thing for warmth.
That's why I told Steve the Godzilla just should have shot Son of Godzilla and warmed himself over in the body. I know I'm a horrible person, but that thing does not deserve to live.
I'm pretty much full of flesh for this. There's only one movie I don't mind Minion, and we'll get there. But
well, hello there.
Exactly. So don't watch this movie. Like, if you're a huge hardcore Godzilla fan, which it's not an easy movie to find. Like, it's not really like readily accessible on DVD unless you find somebody that has already like burned a VHS copy of it onto a DVD. It's really the best way of getting a hold of one.
Well,
or if you can get all the VHS like I have.
Think of it this way. If it's this bad and the suits look this bad on VHS, what do you think it would be like on DVD?
Oh god, not high def. Please no.
Just think about that. There's a reason why I never went to DVD.
Yeah, I was like, we're watching a VHS and I have these complaints, let alone. Like, this is the best the dubbing's probably going to get.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, probably. Like Sea Monster, the dubbing on my VHS is totally different than what it is on the DVD. So yeah, definitely don't really recommend you guys checking this movie out. It's not really worth your time. Unless you're a super hardcore Godzilla fan, you need to watch this movie.
This is where we differ
then,
right here.
By all means, go watch it. Not going to stop you, but for most people, I cannot give it my seal of approval.
This is where we differ. I need you guys to watch this movie because simple fact is that I sat through this whole movie and this stuff is imprinted in my brain. You need to do the same thing and suffer just like I did.
Yes, because we all need to suffer.
Yes.
But what do you guys think? Have you guys seen Son of Godzilla? Please let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this movie. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.